You know, I could have swore that Gerard Butler already made a movie like this, and that movie's called Olympus Has Fallen. So Plane is a late 80s, early 90s throwback action film. I mean, it feels like a movie from the late 80s or early 90s at least. But it stars Gerard Butler, and he plays an airline pilot who's tasked with transporting this convicted killer played by Mike Colter, who you all might know from Luke Cage. But of course, the plane they're all on goes down during a thunderstorm over some islands in the Philippines that are all controlled by separatist forces. They take the passengers hostage, hold them for ransom, and now it's up to Gerard Butler and Mike Colter to rescue them. Now guys, I've seen movies with this exact same formula plenty of times before. But you know what they say, if you can stretch it, it works. But if it breaks, it doesn't work. I don't know, after seeing Plane, we might be getting close to that point where this formula is gonna split like the Titanic. And I don't want anyone to take that as I'm saying Plane is bad, because honestly guys, I enjoyed Plane. As far as turn your brain off popcorn flicks go, I thought Plane was pretty enjoyable, but it seems like I'm in a situation where my likes and dislikes are just kind of balanced out. And of course, in the words of the Mad Titan Thanos himself,
perfectly balanced, as all things should be.
Because on one hand, when this movie turns into batshit insane over-the-top crazy action, it is pretty cool. Like, you see guys in this movie absolutely get shredded with a sniper. You get to watch their backs and spines just get blown out while the force of these bullets just throw them into cars. It's some pretty sick shit. And Gerard Butler, he's just good at this. Playing the guy that's at the center of these really crazy action flicks. He plays a really likable character, and you feel his desperation to save his passengers. He feels responsible for them, and he's willing to die trying to save them. I will say he is about one baby kiss away from just being a little too good. I mean, that's just how good of a guy he is. What's crazy is people are probably going to go into this thinking that he's the badass of the movie. Nope, that's all Mike Colter. He just massacres dudes here. Like, he's great. My only gripe about him is that we never really truly get an opportunity to know more about him. They say in the movie that he was Italian Special Forces, and of course that he killed somebody. I love how they play around with that notion too, like, oh, is he going to turn on Gerard Butler? Is he truly this horrible guy that everyone claims he is? We don't know why this guy committed this crime, so it just feels a little one-sided when the movie starts telling me I should care about him. As badass as he is, I just kind of wish Plane would have given me more context to his character. Show me why I should care about his redemption instead of telling me why I should care. Show, don't tell. Mike Colter and Gerard Butler definitely steal the show with their chemistry. I thought this movie was also pretty intense. It's kind of like a nip in the air because all the characters in this movie are in a really tight spot. And when you factor in the race against time to save all these passengers, it is some pretty nail-biting stuff. Speaking of the passengers, if you're wondering if they have any big roles, nope, they're just kind of there to be hostages. They're just fodder. I love all of these things, but when you truly get into the meat of what Plane really is, it's very formulaic. I mentioned this movie follows a lot of story beats and plot points that make it very similar to movies that have come before. Plane does try new stuff in an attempt to keep the thing fresh, but I can only watch movies where our hero has to save hostages and beat the odds against an unstoppable group of people so much before it just becomes repetitive. Also, if you're going into this movie looking for memorable villains, you're in the wrong place, bro. You have douchebag bad guy 1 and douchebag bad guy 2. That's about as complex as these bad guys get. I mean, they sure as hell ain't no Darth Vader or Hans Gruber. I'll go ahead and warn you guys, these next few points I'm going to bring up are going to sound like nitpicks, but I just gotta get him off my mind. Gerard Butler is probably the greatest pilot in the history of mankind. Not only does he crash this plane once, but twice. And both times, the plane is just practically unscathed. Never mind that we just watched this thing plow through miles of dense trees and jungle. Nah, the landing gear is fine, and the wings are perfectly intact, and they're not torn or beat up at all. I also love the science behind Plane, because apparently I can shoot a gun out of an open plane door while the plane is flying at speeds of 575 miles per hour. You heard me right. There is a scene in this movie where a guy is shooting a gun out of a plane while it's flying with the doors open. I wish I was making that shit up. I'm not an expert in physics at all, but a lot of these guys that are doing this in this movie should be flying out of that thing like it's Final Destination or some shit. Like literally just get sucked out like a vacuum. Also, the passengers, shouldn't they all be like... Or at least suffocating, because I don't know, the plane's not supposed to be flying with its doors open. Like, the air pressure alone would be enough to kill these people. Like, I'm telling you guys, the end of this movie is absolutely bananas. In the end, all I can say is Plane is just dumb, repetitive fun. The moments of tension are really strong, and the performances from Gerard Butler and Mike Colter are really solid. But unfortunately, this movie is just let down by a repetitive format that we've seen over and over again. Just the pure stupidity and logic behind some of these action sequences is just ridiculous. I had fun with Plane for what it was, but honestly guys, I think it would probably be a better time if I was high.
Roll it up, Jeremy, roll it up.
Smoke weed every day.
Alright, thank you guys so much for watching. Drop a like, leave a comment, and subscribe if you're new to the channel. And thank you guys so much for joining me on my review for Plane. Just in retrospective, I honestly couldn't figure out if my rating for this movie should go up or go down just from the amount of stupid that went down in this movie. But the more I thought about it, the more I chuckled about it, it went from being a matinee to just being better if you're high. Because holy shit, there was a lot of stupid in this movie. But I won't keep you guys any longer. Thank you guys so much for watching. Drop a like, leave a comment, and subscribe if you're new to the channel. And as always, I'm the Unbiased Movie Nerd saying peace, and I'll see you guys in the next review. Peace out, everybody.